wanted to talk real quick about methadone and methadone clinic. And basically, the bottom line for me is I'm at the methadone clinic, and I have been for several years now. And I've never given a dirty UA, not one time since I've been in the methadone clinic. And I'm at the point where I only have to go to the clinic one time a week. The rest of the time, I have my medication at home. I get to take it home because I have never given a dirty UA at the clinic. And I am real about my sobriety, and I'm really working a real program. Now, I hear a lot of people crying on YouTube about how the clinic fucked them over, or how this and that. And I just, my personal experience has been, if you work the program, you take your medication, and you stay clean and sober, and you produce clean UAs to the clinic, eventually it will work with you to the point where you may only have to go once a month, and the rest of the month you have your medication at home with you. And that's what I'm striving for. Methadone has completely helped me rebuild my life. I work full-time for a nonprofit organization in Oregon. I'm a devoted father. I have a beautiful 2-year-old, and I have a wonderful wife, and my life's good. And the other thing I wanted to add about methadone is I've heard a lot of talk about false positives in the clinic, and the bottom line for me is I have taken dozens and dozens and dozens of UAs, and I've never had a false positive ever, period. That's just my experience. Now, I suppose if that happened to me, I'd be able to believe in it. But for me, I have a hard time with it because I've spent so much time at the clinic, and I've never given a dirty UA, because to me, it's slightly selfish to use if you're on methadone, especially if you use benzos or you use any opiates on top of it, meth or anything like that when you're on the medication. For me personally, it's selfish. Methadone does what it's supposed to do for me. I spent 20 years, 2 decades on the streets, strung out on opiates. I've used and abused and destroyed my femoral in my right leg. Have had several blood clots. Have had huge amounts of flesh taken out of my body because of bacterias and abscesses that had MRSA. And the bottom line is when I'm on methadone, I don't have any health problems per se. Weight gain, that's it. And the weight gain is just due to the fact that I'm not as active as I used to be. When I was strung out, I used to have to run around to get it. And people say methadone makes you fat. I disagree with it. I think it makes you lazier. It makes you not have to run around, and it also, you're able to eat properly. And some people tend to get kind of chubby. I've had the same experience. But the bottom line for me, my whole point to this is, if you work your program and you stay clean and sober, give the clinic clean, consistent UAs, do not use, then they're going to work with you. And eventually it's going to be like, you get a prescription once a month, and then you're not chained to the clinic as much. It's just like as if you had a bottle of pills, and it's worked wonders for me. So I'm a strong advocate of methadone and the methadone clinic, and that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.